Now, the Food and Fibre Skills Establishment Group was formed as a pan-sector collaboration of industry bodies, Māori employers, employees and education providers. The group will provide interim leadership of the sector's workforce development strategies during a transition into what will be more permanent, a Food and Fibre's Workforce Development Council. And that will be the strong industry leadership voice that we need for this new vocational education structure. He is currently the Beef and Lamb New Zealand's Chief Insight Officer. Very cool title. We'll get into that soon. Jeremy Baker is the chair of this group and joins us now. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Sarah. How are you?
Good, thank you. Now, Jeremy, firstly, let's talk about this group. How long has it been in existence and how did it come about?
So it was set up late towards around October last year when we launched the Food and Fibre Skills Action Plan that we had worked on for most of last year. And it was a joint piece of work between government, industry and other sectors. And yeah, we identified some things we needed to do to address skills across the ag sector.
So what you've be much excited about the government announcement around such large amounts of funding. What's the first job?
Absolutely. Well, it's the same job we've always had, which is making sure that we target resources to the right places. But one of the reasons we pulled this group together was that there's been a bit of a scorched earth of training in the ag sector and other parts of the sector, hort and arable as well. And we've really been trying to identify where those priority areas for investment are. And it's really fantastic now that we've actually got the government coming to the party with really quite large amounts of money to invest, and we're working with training providers, with organisations like Cadet Farms, with organisations like Young Farmers, and many other organisations to actually target that money into the right places.
What are some of those common threads across all of this, a large group of people that you represent or organisations you represent? But there will be a common thread of challenges.
Yeah, I guess a lot of us face the fact that education and training in the rural sector is a bit more challenging than in the urban sector. So it's actually getting people to be able to do the training if they're not in a classroom. And a lot of the training that we want to do actually is practical. We want it to be out on the land or on the orchard. So there are those challenges, and it's really about providing the right kind of support, right kind of training systems. What we struggle with in the past is just actually getting the numbers. But I think in the post-COVID world where everyone is beginning to realise that the primary sector, the food and fibre sector, is actually fundamental to the ongoing growth and development of the country, that there are huge opportunities, and it's great to have the money to be able to back that up.
Jeremy, these challenges are not new. They are pre-COVID by quite a few years.
Yes, absolutely.
There's more systemic issues at play to actually help sort of push people into the sector. Whilst it's quite easy to get particular handouts in other industries as well.
Well, absolutely. That's what, of course, we began this work long before COVID was, a thing. And we were very clear of all of those issues, that we needed to work on attraction. We needed to work on retention and training. We needed to work on the support for people to actually succeed. And we actually all needed to work with employers, because it's actually the full package. We need to actually make it attractive for people, but we need to actually make it a successful career. So the plan that we've got covers all of those aspects. And it's also about combining the work that industry bodies do with the work that training providers do. And that's why it's amazing that we've managed to get 60 organisations to work together on this collaboratively. And it's really exciting, and we're expecting a lot of good things out of this collaborative approach.
Do you know what I love about this particular release that I'm reading is that you've got the words action and plan, not vision. Jeremy?
We're trying to use simple language and just getting it done, really. There's a real big focus. We just want to have stuff happen. We want to see more people doing training. We want more people coming into our sector and being successful, having successful careers, and helping employers, whether they're in farming or in growing, to actually be really good employers and really good trainers. But it's across the full board, really.
A seasoned broadcaster once told me the shorter my questions and the longer the answers, the better. So I've got one word for you. How?
So it's actually about, as I said, targeting the money to the people who are successful and helping them to grow. So we know that there are some areas that are doing well, and in the past they've struggled to get the funding, and we've now identified those, and we can now target the money in the right direction. So it's about building on who's doing well, and where there are areas where there's nothing, we'll just have to start building it from scratch.
Jeremy, we had a wonderful woman by the name of Kerry Allen who heads up the Agriculture and Horticulture Teachers Association. Are you sort of reaching very deep into those earlier, younger years of our children?
Absolutely. We're really keen to support the Agriculture and Horticulture Teachers Association. We're working with the ministry on agricultural education across the board, supporting curriculum materials, all sorts of different initiatives to actually try and encourage more people. I guess at the moment the focus is on people a little bit closer to the labour market, but that doesn't mean that we're not focusing about the long-term game as well.
Fantastic. Now, I'm really intrigued by your title, Chief Insight Officer. It's very broad. At Beef and Lamb, what exactly is your day job?
Well, I do a lot of different things. I have a wonderful team who work for me, and they're a real mixture of different kind of analytics people. I've got economists, I've got data analysts, I've got people who do program design, course design, and people who help with the training stuff. So it's pretty broad, but at the end of the day, my job is to work with farmers and with Beef and Lamb to identify what the big challenging issues are that are coming at us, like climate change or water or animal welfare or training, and to sort of do the pre-work that actually supports the people doing the delivery, our regional teams, to actually come up with solutions for farmers.
So my big question to close then, Jeremy, would be what is the one thing from all of your insights being so close to consumer trends and farmer behaviour and regulatory challenges that you're most excited about?
I'm really excited about the fact that I think New Zealanders have actually, through the COVID experience, actually realised how important our sector is, and they're actually excited about the fact that we've made a great, I think we've reached a great position, for example, on water, and I think we're working on the same on climate change. And I think we can work to bring urban and rural much closer together, and that's actually fantastic for New Zealand.
Thank you so much. That's Jeremy Baker, as we were saying there, Chief Insight Officer by day, chair of this wonderful new Food and Fibre Skills Establishment Group by night. I'm sure he does both in parallel. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
This is Sarah's Country.